everybody, it's Frankie Nicole here. Oh, I didn't start it off with my tarot people. What? Okay. Anyways, so we are on the eve of Solstice. I wish you many blessings for this winter. I am seeing the spirits turn inward and people reflect, and I'm seeing kindness towards others. The great ideals have been set in Sagittarius, and now they're coming to be put into practice in the Capricorn energy. Now, we have a Cancer full moon this week on Christmas, which is going to be fantastic. So we are going to be releasing. Things are going to be coming to a head, coming to light, coming to an understanding, being fully illuminated that what once was dark. And I am just so thankful for this year. This year was terrible. This year was hard. This year was infuriating and painful and made me want to rip my hair out multiple occasions. But, silver lining, I am here. I made it. I feel so much better. I feel the best I've ever felt in my entire life. I am living my true self. I had to crawl and gnash and climb and torture myself into being me, who I am, right here. And with that, I want to read you a poem that I wrote. Not my first, but one of my most powerful, I believe. I made me. When the tears flowed, when my body ached so bad I thought I'd split apart, when the loneliness ate slowly away at my heart, where you were off, now claiming to participate in any of this. If anything, you were only the initial catalyst, at the beginning, but quickly burning off into nothing. You to me now are nothing, and I am all there is. And that is a description of my South Node in Libra into my North Node in Aries, which is all about the I am. And with that, I want to say, be you. Be all of yourself. Be every little bit of who you are. Be the ultimate expression of yourself. Do not let anyone dictate or set a precedence or allow you to feel any less than who you are. Because when we bring our true authentic self to the table, we shine so bright. We open up a chasm that has not been there before, and we illuminate, and we bring our energy to the table. We show the world the absolute truth of who we are, and there is no mistaking that. There is no misunderstanding. That is who you are, and that is what you bring, and you are supposed to be here, and you are supposed to say those things, and you are supposed to be who you are, regardless of who it is and how you measure on any scale of anyone else's understanding, because the only understanding that ever matters is your understanding of you and your expansion of you. And with that, I want to make a few recommendations. I was just sent a wonderful solstice poem by my friend and fellow astrologer, Rick Levine. So if you look him up on YouTube, I believe if you look under my settings or just look on the search engine Rick Levine, he also writes for tarot.com. And then also He has updates. So if you want to learn in depth about the different planetary movements, it is fantastic. He goes into depth and very intricate, and it is very important, I believe, to follow the planets, because honestly, we can map out our plans and our understandings and be very successful at what we're trying to accomplish if we take a look at the energies there are to work with. And that is how we can be very successful. It's not all luck. It's we have the ability. We don't know exactly what's going to happen day to day, and we don't know how people are going to react on a certain matter or anything like that. We can understand the energy, we can understand what we are working with, and we can use it and mold it to be tangible in our hands. And another one, excuse me, is One Spiritual Witch, which is the number one and spiritual witch. And she went into detail about the Cancer new moon or full moon that's coming up, and the Mercury retrograde that is now starting its shadow period right now. So beware of like communication, electronics, travel times. That's what Mercury rules. The third house. It's a very fast moving planet, very close to the Earth. Um, so, if you think something's malfunctioning or not working properly in an electronic sense, do not necessarily take it back because to the store and ask for a new one, because right now it's just the energy is affecting electronics and communications and vehicles and transportation and travel. What else? This is just like a news bulletin forecast. And today in the weather. So yeah, so she talks about people coming back into your lives, and I'll let her go into it more so because she says it so very eloquently. She's wonderful. I love watching her channel. She definitely breaks it down what you should be aware of, because Mercury retrograde can bring in old things, because it retraces its steps, and it's all about reconfiguring and re-understanding different connections and communications and understandings of things, especially when they're in air signs. And earth signs, which it will be in Capricorn, as it is right now, it'll probably be more about reestablishing a different path of how to go and how to work on things. So if you felt like what you've been pursuing has not been bearing the fruit or getting you to your destination the fastest, the most efficient, or the most enjoyable way possible, now is a time to reflect and understand how to reconfigure that. So I have my stones again. I have my love cards, and since we're about to have a very potent, powerful new full moon, which is going to be in my 8th house, which is all about intimacy, death, rebirth, other people's money. So here's hoping to money, or intimacy. Well, who knows about that one? So I really wish you the most wonderful time of this year, and I just so much wish for peace and happiness and calm. I was made aware of some things in my life recently of outside, because inside I feel like I have come to a very good place. But the outside and the people that I have been dealing with on a regular basis, I am starting to really understand a lot more what's around me and what I do not take in, which is not always bad. Sometimes you don't have to take in things. You don't always have to let things completely consume you. Yes, we are told that we are supposed to care about other people. Yes, we must be aware. We must be cognizant of our effect in the world. But that does not mean taking in everything and everybody else's drama, problems, issues. And it's funny, I used to. And because being an empath, you have a very apt ability to do that. You just know what's going to make somebody feel better or worse, or you just you have this tangible understanding, and you kind of feel your moral obligation to help. But I've come to this great understanding where you don't always have to. Sometimes the people need to do it on their own, and it's very important to let them, because you don't want to prevent them from learning a certain lesson that they need to learn. And they'll come back at you, and they'll be very upset if you interfere in their existence, even though you feel like you know how to help them better than they help themselves, because they're obviously not doing it. But that's the lesson. That's the point. They need to figure that out. They have to get to that point of rock bottom where they don't want to have to deal with that anymore. And being a sympathetic ear and listening and being supportive, that's great. And then you can take all that and you can just, you don't have to continually hold it in and let it just sit on you, because then it becomes toxic for you. And nobody wants that. We don't want to feel like that the other people are becoming burdens to us, because we still want to be connected to others. We still want to feel that we are someone who cares, someone who is compassionate and is able to help others. And sometimes helping others is to take a step back and allow them to vent, allow them to be, and figure it out on their own, because sometimes people just need to talk. And that's, and not everyone can afford a therapist. So we must be our sounding boards, and then take that and just away. And then there we have helped somebody without taking on a burden. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Good cards. I know, I'm just in a silly mood. I'm a silly girl. Silly, silly, silly. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, so I pulled 4, and I had the 3 decks again, because I don't know why. We're trying it. We're doing it. I'm doing it my way, and I'm not listening to other people's stuff per se, and having them, dictate my life, but I am allowing for constructive criticism and for soundboarding, right? Is that the right word? Yes. Yes. I think being a soundboard, yes. Okay, so for the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday we'll say, we have the Justice card upright. Yeah. We have the Ace of Swords reversed. And we have the 6 of Cups. So, perhaps there is something, someone, some situation from the past that is coming back to light. And that's, not uncommon, because Mercury retrograde, people coming back from the past. Now, we have the Ace of Swords reversed, which can also talk about not trusting new ideas. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that something that is coming into your life is not necessarily a trustworthy idea, but maybe it is talking about the idea you have of yourself. When something comes at you and comes into your existence, you're like, okay, you're cautious, you don't quite know, or maybe you jump into something right away and you're just like, oh, and this is that. So perhaps there is a new idea or a new understanding that you have come up with, and it requires some more understanding. It requires some more contemplation. Maybe you did something or said something and you weren't quite sure if it was the right thing to do or say, or the right thought. But upon further consideration, perhaps it is. And because sometimes we don't trust our own gut. We don't trust our own understanding or ability of things. Or it could be someone coming in with a new idea, a new thought, and you should not trust them. You should not trust the idea because maybe they haven't thought it all the way through. It's more talking about an idea that is not fully formed. It's just the beginning. It's just the start of something, and then there's a process of you kind of have to think it through. Is it 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords? Maybe there's some disappointment because it wasn't exactly what you thought it was. And then 4 of Swords, more meditation. 5 of Swords, you have a discussion, see how it progresses. The Ace of Swords is just the beginning. So don't always trust the first impression, because the first impression could be your perception of something that could not necessarily be correct. Now, with the Justice card, perhaps it is something that is definitely bringing a resolution or an answer that you've been kind of trying to understand or think about. Maybe you felt that someone had caused you, wronged you, or caused an injustice in some way, or you've been waiting on an answer, or you've been waiting on some kind of decision for somebody to have made. And maybe they make a decision, and maybe it seems fair because it's in the upright, but maybe it only seems fair to one person. And the Six of Cups in reverse usually talks about, you're moving past the past. And, I mean, it could be someone from the past, or it's something from the past that's moving forward now, and it's going into the future or in the present, and it's being incorporated, and now you're starting to understand all the little pieces that you didn't really realize before because there was an emotional block, or you were focused on other things in your existence and you didn't quite think the rest of it all the way through. Or, people omit things that they think that they say, and that's where a lot of understandings come from, is that two people are trying to have a conversation, both see it from a different point of view, and it's very emotional, and you're trying to navigate this, this plane where you're exchanging the understanding, and somebody's upset or someone's not taking it the way that the other person is taking it, and it just, that's where a lot of people just kind of just separate, and they're like, you know what, I don't even want to deal with this. A lot of signs, especially the fixed signs, because they're very adamant in their point of view, and they're not going to change their point of view necessarily right away, because they have that very fixed idea, very fixed sense of what they want, what they think, who they are, and how they want their life to go. So, that was very... So in the middle of the week, we have some really awesome cards, and I think that some people are going to get some really wonderful feelings, news. This hair is driving me crazy. Do not mind me. I'm just going to tuck it up into my hat. Cool. We have the Prince of Cups as our first card, which is always somebody coming in with just full emotional wonderfulness, and it's upright, so it's not this woe is me kind of energy. It's this, here is my cup, I bring this to you, and I offer you to commune and dine, and we will be together, and we will feel wonderful emotional satiety. And then we have the Empress card upright, which is all about abundance and creation and nurturing and feeling, taken care of and held and warm and nice. I mean, this is a great card for the middle of the week, and a great card to precipice of Christmas. Now, not everyone's Christmas will always be 100% sparkly handy dandy, because we've been told all these silly stories about, perfect families in Christmas time. But the energy is so powerful right now. It's so ready for new. I mean, Saturn in Sagittarius is all about being real. It's all about seeing through the bullshit and still being kind and still being, taking that extra time that, we all have in our lives that we just toss away to do something kind for someone else. Hold a door, make an extra packet at work, or, staple something. Do something for someone else that is just purely selfless. Otherwise, the only thing you get from it is the feeling, the sense of satisfaction that you have done something wonderful for another person that was going to ease the burden, take a load off, be able to make somebody smile just for the sake of making them smile. And then you see their smile, and then you feel you're filled with this wonderful light inside of you that makes you feel like I've made this person's moment, day, hour, whatever, a little bit better. Because isn't that what it's all about? We can give all the gifts we want. We can say all the grand speeches we want about being a great nation or being good people. But when it comes down to it, it's the action. It's the actual moment where you just take that and you are selflessly nice and kind to another person just for the sake of that. And that is the spirit. That is the spirit of Christmas, of holiday, of this idea that we are bringing joy to other people without asking anything in return. And therefore, you get so much more in return. And then we end with the Knight of Wands reversed, which is not a bad card reversed. Just means delays, perhaps. So maybe there's some traffic getting on the way to a holiday party, or it's messages. So we have, two messengers here. So there's people coming with messages. And, it could always be somebody's drunk relative who is, oh, I really love that you made yourself blah 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 blah, and giving somebody a compliment, and how you take compliments can always be, you can always take a compliment in a good way and a bad way. I like to see the silver lining. So when somebody says something like, you always have different hair, I love the way your hair is, maybe to them that could have been a slight or some kind of, negative type of comment in their mind, because they don't really like colored hair. They think it's kind of weird, and, it's, oh, you're always changing your hairstyle. You're so flippant and you're whatever. But to me, I see that as a compliment, because you know what? Yeah, it looks damn good on me every time, and I can make things different, and I can change stuff up a little bit, and I can, just tweak it just a little bit, and I get to be a little bit different every day. And you know what? I like being a little bit different every day, because that makes me feel awesome, and I get to change it, and I like to be a little bit changeable, because that is the Sagittarius in me. I am a fire queen, and damn it, I love it. It took me a little while to get there, but you know what? I figured it out. So this can also mean messages of passion. So with the Prince of Cups here in upright, and this guy, this could be some major relationship stuff starting, especially with the Empress. So someone might come in and be like, you know what? You are just so amazing. You are the most amazing person I have met, and I really want you in my life, and I want to make that happen. I want to marry you. I want to be your significant other. I want you are my best friend. Those kind of messages. It's a very fertile, wonderful beginning. And that is very exciting for this time and this beginning and this time of the week. So watch out for messages where somebody is just really giving you a lot of passion, and cherish that, because a lot of people they're not very passionate, and they don't give you the reciprocal passion that you would, like. I like passionate people, sometimes it's not great, it's negative passion, but I like passion, it just gets me all riled up inside. So I'm very excited to see what kind of messages come my way. Hopefully, some nice wonderful, passionate messages of heartfelt, desires and happiness. But, I'll settle for a nice holiday card or whatever. It's not a big deal because, intrinsically, I have all the passion I need and all the love I need to feel completely satisfied and whole in my own life. And I have people around me that continually help and feed that positive feedback loop. And I try to give them back what I feel like they have given to me, because that is what I feel is the most valuable thing in life. Money, diamonds, cars, jewels, whatever, fancy parties, fancy whatever, pales in comparison to the people in my life, because the people bring me the most joy. Whew, getting all, So then at the end of the week, we have the Princess of Swords reversed, which can talk a little bit about some immature actions or thoughts. It's the youngest of the court cards, and it talks about messages too. So perhaps there is a little bit of, the Christmas spirit where, you're rushing in and you're opening up the presents and, get up, Mom and Dad, I want, and ripping the presents apart and kind of, oh, I didn't quite get what I wanted, and that kind of energy. Or, maybe a little bit of gossip, because it can also, be some gossip. It just could be a younger person who isn't as mature, who doesn't always fully form their thoughts or opinions, and they are very like, this is how I feel, and you're just like, okay, well, but have you thought about it in this way? We also have the Three of Pentacles reversed, which can talk about a very fertile time. It can talk about delays, and it can talk about apprenticeships, in a sense where maybe somebody isn't fully understanding, the energy. But, with what's going on in the week, I believe it's a more fertile understanding. And maybe it's just realizing with this full moon that we don't have all the tools in our tool belt at the moment, and that we need to fully take a good look at everything that we're trying to do, and figure out how to fully form something. I mean, with this Prince of Swords in reverse, I think it's really just a lack of a full thought of like trying to develop things, because we also have the Three of Wands reversed, which can talk about delays and not actions not moving forward, kind of having to rework things. So I think we're having to rework some ideas that have not fully been thought out. We're having to, hone in some new skills, or take a look at the skills that we have and kind of see which ones we really need to work on. So, maybe it's maybe we have to put together things, or maybe stuff is not quite working right, with this Mercury retrograde, people getting electronics for Christmas. With the Three of Wands, maybe there's a delay in getting somewhere, or maybe a package didn't come on time. I just think that the full moon is going to bring to an illumination some things that we have not quite yet. We don't have yet. We don't possess in our skill set or our mindset or our plan forward. So it's just a head. It's just a warning. It's not a bad thing. It's not a dire, oh, the whole world is ending. And I know, I love you, dear Cancers, but you guys can be a little bit over dramatic when it comes to that things and just blow up about stuff. So perhaps there's a Cancer that has a little bit of a meltdown about something. And let me tell you, it's gonna be okay. I promise you. Please do not have a just overall blah. And I'm not just speaking necessarily just to Cancers, because other signs have that too. But I'm saying, and it's a very emotional sign. It's a cardinal emotional sign. So it's very much about the insta emotion, the insta, you know, going straight to that point. Whereas, when you get around to the other water signs, they tend to hold back some of their emotional state a little bit, or it doesn't quite affect them directly emotionally, but it comes later. And that's all I'm saying is, don't allow the emotions to fully get to you because you realize you're lacking in some plan or something, because that's the process of life. We are all in a process of learning. We're all in a process of understanding. We're all in progress. We don't have to be perfect right away. That's the point. That's the beauty of life, You don't let your plans crush you because you're not a rock star immediately, because it takes work to get somewhere. It takes diligence and understanding. No matter the good intentions that you have to work hard at something to get there. So, to sum up the overall understanding of this week, we have the Universe in reverse, the Strength card in reverse, and the Lovers card, which, all major arcana, which is yay! But, I just couldn't ask for better cards. It's just... So, the Universe talks about being at the end of a cycle. We are completing something. It is okay to let things go. It is okay not to be perfect. It is okay not to have all the answers. It's okay not to be 100% strong all the time. It is okay to let people in to your existence. It's okay if the cat walks across the screen. It's okay, because life is complicated. Life is messy. Life is constantly reworking the puzzle to get to the Rubik's Cube perfection or whatever. And this year has taught us that we have the strength to make it through, to persevere through the darkest times, to show the world that we are strong, that we have what it takes to be somebody, to be ourselves, to be fearless in ourselves, and how we show the world who we are. We may not be perfect. We may not have the best dance moves. People may thumbs down our videos and tell us to fuck off and, and leave stuff behind, then make us take care of their nonsense, to shortchange us when it comes to who we are in a situation, to, completely dick us around. But we're strong, and we're capable, and we're smart, and we can figure it out, and we can move on and get on with our lives, because we know how to do that. We have the capabilities. We have some tools, and we know how to get more tools. We know how to make it. And we have the Lovers. So, first of all, not even talking about romantic love, but talking about self-love. Talking about self-love of strength and our own inner strength, the well that we have inside of us to take us to the next level, to show us that we can take this small little ball of clay that we are, this shiny, sparkly, crazy patterned, tiger print, crazy hat, red hair person, and take where it starts at that beginning and mold it slowly into this wonderful sculpture that people will look at in awe and say, look at that, look at her, look at that person, look how magnificent they are, look what they've done with that clay, that once little lump of clay that was worthless and meaningless to most, but they took the time and the diligence, and they worked hard, and they did it, and they made themselves into something. Blood, sweat, tears, snot, they did it. And there it is. And there it will be. Because they worked hard and they built the foundation and they formed it and they tried the different techniques and they somehow turned it into this stable foundation structure that will last and stand the test of time, that is attractive and beautiful to some, questioning and mind-boggling to others, vile and revered and so many things to other people. You may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you better be your cup of tea, because you're the only one who has to drink it. And then maybe you might find somebody who wants to share that cup of tea with you. I feel like I've been on my soapbox, but I swear I'm not like that. And with the love cards, to end it with the lovers, which is perfect. My love is like an ocean, forever longing for your shore. You are an eternal ocean of love. I close my eyes and my heart is filled with rose quartz light. Life is constantly changing, yet at its core, it remains the same. Love does not change. It only grows stronger. Change is simply love unfolding its never-ending story. Surround yourself with nature, Christmas trees, and you will feel a greater sense of well-being. Nature's healing energy is sensual and magical. It will awaken the essential magic in you. Try to look at things from more of a feelings level. What is your heart saying? If you look at life purely through logic, you will always get to a point where it seems to make no sense. True wisdom and understanding resides in the heart. Close your eyes and feel your spiritual connection to everything on this planet. Every person, animal, tree, and flower. Feel the ocean, the wind, the sky, all in perfect harmony, moved by the one eternal flow of love. And with that, I bid you adieu, and I wish you just so much wonderfulness on this solstice eve, and may your winter be warm and comfortable and loving.